out of my head.
If you ever need to get up and randomly twerk or shake, I can always put a GIF over whatever you need to do to refuel your body. All right, let's go. Okay, so welcome to Panda Strong Podcast. So where we interview the strongest women all over the world in the sports of strongman, powerlifting, bodybuilding, and much, much more. Now, the women on our show are on our show not just because they are gorgeous and accomplished, it's also because of their own personal inspirational story. Our goal here at the show is to educate you and provide you tips. Whether you are a new lifter or a more experienced lifter, there's always a little golden nugget you can get out of the show. Make sure you listen on into the end because you never know what we might say or what we might do. So controversial. So anyways, let's get started. Now, today we have on the show someone from the UK. She's quite English. Her name is Naomi Hadley. I kind of feel like she's like the Naomi, like the model, okay? But for strongman, what's that? Naomi Campbell. Yes, Naomi Campbell. You like the Naomi Campbell for strongman. And so a little bit about her background. She's a PRO Strongwoman, and some of her accomplishments. See, if you say everything in English, it just works better. Okay, so here you go. Cue fake English accent time. So first place, Midlands England qualifiers. So bad. September 2020, she won first place. England's strongest woman, fourth place, which is still pretty, it's significant. Log and deadlift challenge fit expo, July 2021, second place. English strongest woman, August 2021, second place. Queen of the North, first place, August 2021. Britain's strongest woman, third place. I really need to be an announcer. It's a part of my life that's unfulfilled. Yeah, third place, September 2021. I just want to be like, let's get ready to rumble. Too many years watching wrestling on 90s TV. Arnolds log and deadlift comp, October 2021. Official strongman games, OSG. November 2021, 14th strongest in the world. Now, whenever people hear those numbers, okay, for people who don't understand the sport, you need to understand something. I just got to say this. You know how many rookie competitions you have to go through, amateur, to even qualify for nationals, and how well you have to do at nationals to get to just even the world stage? Do you know how many strong people there are, women in the world, especially in the USA? There's so many humans just in that small square footage, you know what I'm saying? To get to that level. So, you know what I mean? Anything in 15 is high five, okay? A fucking high five. Especially if you're natty, that's, yes, many high fives. Oh my God, my 15-month-old baby high fives. I've never even thought of that. He just comes up to me and he's like,
you need to teach him the fist bump.
Yes, that's true. He's like a natural athlete. So today on the show, this is the second season, okay? We're in month 2. I'm pretty proud of that. Thank you everyone for listening and supporting the show. There's many ways you can support the show. You can purchase merch off our store. Please do that. That also goes back to the athletes. Many of the designs in the stores of our brand ambassador sponsored athletes. So a portion of that purchase goes to them. And you can also click a little button on our website on the About Us page that says buy me a coffee. And I'm a mom, okay? I need fucking caffeine or I'll die. At this point, I need a beer cap with an intravenous just as functions. Like today, I had coffee, it's not working. My body's like, the adrenal glands are like, fuck no, it's Sunday, shutting down. Anyways, so support the show and continue listening on, share, like, comment, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening in, or YT, comment below what your favorite part of the show is. I always do a lot of this. I feel like I can't help myself.
No, I feel like
they're just there. They're just in the vicinity. I can't do this. You know what I mean? I'm always very aware. Anyways, so we're gonna talk about how to train using innovative and classic training techniques. So we're gonna go back from the very, very beginning. Naomi, tell us how you got into the sport. And I understand you're a mom of how many kids. Being a mom and training strongman is hard as hell. I know, because I'm trying to do it. So talk to us, girls. Where did the journey begin?
Basically, I play, like, as you guys would call it, roller derby, or roller derby in this country. I used to play for a WFTDA team, and then I decided that I wanted to play because I'm like 6'1" and I'm quite big, so I'd get a lot of penalties for hitting. Yeah, I know. I'd get quite a lot of penalties for hitting the smaller skaters. So I was like, maybe if you play for a men's team, you might not get as many penalties. Turns out that is actually accurate. I haven't got as many penalties, but not playing for almost 2 years didn't help. So I went to play for a men's team, and then I was like, okay, so you're quite big, you can take a hit, but blokes flying at you at speed is going to be significantly more difficult for you to take hits. So I was like, maybe you should go to the gym. And then I was like, but that involved cardio, so that's a no from me. So my friend had been putting things on Facebook that she was doing strength training, and I was like, oh, that looks like fun, that could be all right. So basically, because I live in like Birmingham, so I was going to Mansfield, which is like, I'm going to say like 45, 50 minutes-ish away, to do strongman training with her for a few weeks. And then was like, oh, there's a competition in 7 weeks, I'm going to do that. And I didn't have a coach at this point, so I'm not completely sure what I was thinking, to be honest. So then I got a coach and I was like, I've signed up for this competition in 7 weeks. Do you think I'll be able to do it? And he was like, no, you need at least 8 to 10 weeks to do a competition. And I was like, well, we'll see. And then we started going through the events. He was like, actually, I think we'll be all right. The only thing that's really going to take a lot of work is like yoke and stones, because that's very technical. So I basically started doing that. And then I did my first time as, I think it was, I'm going to say November of 2019. And then I was just like hooked. It was amazing. I've been used to doing like team sports. So it was always, if I did something wrong, there'd be like 13, 14 other people to be like, no, it's right, we can fix it. And then it went from that to just being me. And I was like, so I've got to stand there and everyone's just going to stare at me doing this one thing. And they're like, yes. And I was like, oh my God. Like the fear, like my anxiety was ridiculous.
Nakedness, I'm so naked.
Oh, it was so scary. But then loads of my friends turned up to my competition and then everyone was cheering. And then it was like weird, like I completely forgot that the entire crowd was there. And I was like, stare at the ref, stare at the ref, stare at the ref. No one else is there. That was basically what I did, just like eyeball the ref. So I basically just did that. And then because I'd never done it or been to a competition before, I was like, so we've done this one event, cool. Why am I last? Am I really bad? Like, did I do that bad that I have to go last each time? But like, I didn't figure out that that's because I'd come first in certain events. And then it got to the end and they said who won. And I was just like, like that. And then when I get really excited or I get a PB, I end up doing this or screaming or doing like a little happy dance. So I did that at the end. And then it went from there to then in, I want to say, I think it was February when I did, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was February. I signed up for another competition with Maria, the flump. And she said, I was like, I'm going to do novice because it's only my second competition. And she was like, but you can do some of these weights. I was like, but I can't do all of them. And then she basically told me I wasn't allowed to do novice. So I had to do inters instead. And then at the start of February of 2020 was unfortunately when I lost my mom, like fully unexpectedly. Didn't see it coming. I just went to her house one day and just like found it, which was horrific. And that was on the same week as this competition. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not ready. I don't want to do it. I haven't eaten. Everything sucks. I'm just going to sit here and cry. And then I think it got to the Thursday of that week and I was like, what would she tell you to do? Would she tell you to just like sack it off and sit there and feel sorry for yourself and then regret not doing it? Or would she tell you, you put all this work in to train for it and people believe in you and you should just do it. And if you last, you last, but you'll be doing something that makes you feel better. So I did that. And then I met like my actual strong woman idol who Maria had told what had happened, Andrea Thompson, who was like, and Andrea was there and she got me like a sorry for your lost card and all this other stuff because they didn't think I was going to go.
Wow.
And then I went and like some of my friends came to cheer and every time something happened, they were like standing there trying not to cry. And I was like, I'm not going to cry. I don't care what you all do. I'm not crying. I'm not crying today. So I just focused on every other event instead. And then we did all the events. And then it got to the end and Andrea did like a little speech about my mom. And like literally I was at the back of this room at Grindhouse and Andrea was at the front and she started saying how somebody had like a personal tragedy this week. And the entire room just turned around and looked at me and I was just kind of like this. Like that. And I was like, I'm not crying. I'm not, like my whole goal for that day.
No, you make me bleed my own blood.
My entire pain for that day. I was like, I don't care how I do, as long as I try, but I'm just not going to cry in front of people. And that's all I want to not do all day because I don't want to cry in front of people. So I'm not going to do it. So it got to the end and they were like, I think they got to third place and I hadn't said my name yet. And I was like, ooh. And then it got to second and it was me and one other girl who also plays roller derby, who I'd played with before. And we were standing next to each other, roller derby, like holding each other's arm, roller derby. And then they said that she was second and I was just like somebody took a picture of my face, like there's 6 pictures of me just going like that. And everyone was like all my friends were crying again. I was like, still not doing it. So I kind of put my face in a t-shirt like that. Went up to the front and there's this amazing picture of me on the podium. There's like Andrea standing at the bottom because she was giving us trophies. There was a lady who was third on one side and then my friend who was second on the other side, just like staring up at me crying. And I'm just like hiding behind my trophy because I was like, I'm not going to cry in front of anyone. I'm not going to do it. And then at the end of that day, I was talking to Andrea and she was like, you know, you're going to have to step up to opens now, don't you? And I was like, but I've only done 2 competitions. I don't want to do it. I'm not ready. And she was like, but at a certain point, you need to be ready. So you need to step up now. So basically from doing them 2 competitions, I had to then go into opens, which was like a whole other kettle of really, really big fish.
Yeah, that's a really amazing story. You know, I feel like for me, some things you said really stood out and, you know, condolences on your mom, of course, obviously. That's really hard. I always feel for me, something that's always motivated me as an underdog is being kind of, you know, that thought process of that there's people who believe in you and think you're capable of a lot more than you think you're capable of. And you owe it to them. You owe it to your creator with all the gifts that you have to do something with it. And obviously you're taller than me, girl. You're 6'1", damn. I mean, you like Shaq up in this place.
I am.
Yeah, I'm 5'9". I'm always proud of that, almost 6 feet, but you're up and you're 6'1". So now I need to just wear heels around you, which I'm not happy about because I can't walk in them anymore. I've had kids. They're too big. I look like I have ridiculously small feet and hands now that I've grown in mass. You know what I mean? Like I just have these little weird ass baby hands and fingers, and they can't handle that weight.
I got massive hands and massive feet. So I told my friends, I was like, I'm basically like a girl Mark Felix with my giant hands.
No, I have like dancer fingers and hands, but like they're short, but they're thick because of like lifting weights and always using my hands. Right? Your mom, you're always cleaning, cooking, whatever. And I'm an artist too, so I'm always using my hands. So my hands are just thick, but like tiny. So I just feel like that thing's just bear paws, you know? But my feet are dancer feet, so they're really skinny and little, and I've had to use shit foot model on OnlyFans. I'm like, desperate times come, I may consider that. That's also for my family. But anyways, no, they can't handle the weight. So I always got like wear big ass shoes and padding to like even out the symmetrics. But anyways, that's about feet. So yeah, but just believing in yourself and taking on a risk or a chance. Most of the people that I've met initially for the show actually wasn't an intentional thing. It wasn't like, I'm going to do this. These are the goals and things I want to reach by X amount of time. Most of the time it's something they just kind of fell into and fell in love with. But then there's something in their life that they need to break through to get to that point, which sounds a lot like you. And that was for me, like I need to like stop allowing these stupid, they're not small, I mean, they do affect my life, but small things steal the glory that could be the legend of your life, right? And just pursue it and fulfill it, just like, and disregard that. Try not to think about it. Not mask, but not be fake, but just focus on the good and keep training through. And breakthrough is the only word I can think of. Like, so with your mom passing on and going, and now, you know, being a mom with kids, that's always hard because it's nice to have your parents to talk to. But like for you now, going forward, you're going up, which is good, right? Like you're advancing in strength. So what are the goals? Where would you like to be? What is the plan? What's happening for Naomi?
Like this is going to sound like a really lame thing to say that is a goal, but like my main goal is to actually consistently manage to believe that I can actually do something, because I'll have like a training day and I'll be like, that went really well, you can do this, and then I'll have two that are completely crap and I'll be like, no, you're not ready for this, you don't belong with these people, you should be like, maybe you should retire and then you can try again in a bit, and then, you know, we'll just see what happens. Because like my self-confidence got better when I got stronger. And then it got better when I decided to lose weight, so I was healthy for the kids after mom. So my self-confidence got better then, but then I got weaker. So then I had like a 6 to 8 month period of, but you used to be able to do this and now you can't do that. What are you doing? Is you being lighter really worth you not feeling as strong? And then I was like, no, it's not. I'm going to start eating all cookies again, because it really messed up with my head. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, I'll have a good day and then 2 bad days, and then 2 good days and 1 bad day. So my whole goal is to feel like I belong and can slightly hold my own with like the big dogs of opens. Do you know what I mean? It's really hard, because it's good to have like, I have got kind of goals of like, I want to hit this deadlift and this log and blah 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 blah. But my main one is I just want to believe in myself that I actually deserve to be in the same kind of realm as all of these like amazing women, which is really hard to do when you haven't done it for that long, and you just kind of like, the imposter syndrome is real with me a lot of the time.
Yeah, but honestly, like I swear to God, like almost every woman I've had on the show, which I think you're the 28th guest. I have to double check. Excuse me, guys, my technology was being a little weird for this recording. I'm pretty sure 28, and I'm pretty sure most of them have all experienced that, even up to like the super like world strong, like elitist levels. So I think, and I've been trying to think about this and reflect on this, because our goal is to help empower people and help build their confidence through lifting and helping them get to those points in the lifting career, and taking out a lot of the guesswork, you know, through educational tips on the show and so forth. But I feel like in general, a lot of that comes down to the psychology of how we're raised and our generation, because most of the women I've had in the show are relatively in 1 to 2 maybe generations. It's not a super huge gap. And I think, you know, the influence of perfectionism and especially talk about like, you know, I would say like early 80s, you know, into 90s, that's where that really boomed. So it's kind of like, you have to have a certain job, certain look, certain amount of kids, whatever. So it's like everything else you do in your life, no matter how good it is, you keep comparing it against that, so you never feel enough, right? And so I don't even think it's a matter of low confidence or self-esteem issue. I think it's a deep-rooted psychology that was taught through behavior patterns, and we were reinforced or disciplined growing up by our authority figures, parents, teachers, whatever. And so instead of feeling guilty about that, what I try to do and like internalize that and be like, oh, you must be the shit, right? Look at you, you're giving into imposter syndrome again, you suck, and then you have this weird mental battle in your head. I'm like, oh, okay, wait, this is completely normal, and just chip her up, just pip her up, get up and just move through that feeling, right? Don't try to force it to go away, because I have found that just waste time and energy trying to just be like, right? Or just actually, you're still trying to do it, you're still spending mental focus thinking about it, right? So just keep, not be busy to the point where you're ignoring your feelings and shoving it down. That's toxic. I'm saying that, but I'm saying like, just keep moving, just keep working. And like you said, you'll have down days. I mean, when you're a mom coming back from lifting, when you are at a significantly higher level and you've had surgery, I mean, that's hard. It's hard to stomach that, but you have to give yourself time, and great things are accomplished in time. So I think anybody who excels when they're really new is fucking amazing, and that itself is an accomplishment, and you should be good with that. If you die tomorrow, you should be good with that. And anything that happens from now on, it's like you showed up, you did something you were planning to do, and you did succeed in it. So yeah, you don't have to do that. Like there's certain people that are just like, freaks of nature, like Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw, who just are just amazing for a long period of time to these levels. But, statistics show, people should know, that that's less than 10% of humans. I think it's like 6 or 8%. And the number is like dwindling actually because of physical literacy has dwindled over the years. But the point is, when it comes to sports, like that's, it's you can go for that and great, and you could achieve that, but don't hate in yourself if you, not always there. Like it's not, don't put so much of your whole importance. Like for me with the lockdown in the past 2 years, like that really taught me what was valuable. There were so many things that were constantly changing, access to gyms, access to competitions, being able to see your friends, being able to leave your house. So just put some things into perspective, right? And I think as long as you're training, you're eating healthy, you're taking supplements, you're exercising, you're being positive, your mental health is good, you're taking care of your sleep, good, healthy relationships with people in your life, then that's all that matters, And if you lost it all, would you be proud of the work you put in, right? Like when you're talking about when your mom was gone, right? It's like, well, would she be proud of you? Yeah, she's proud of you. And that is enough, right? Like that's, okay, I didn't let her down. I showed up, I tried. So you a champion, girl. You a champion.
And also, like in my case as well, because my youngest is 8 and she's the only like girl I've got. So I also know that a lot of the time that she's watching me. So like I can't let her see me go like, oh no, but I can't do what blah blah can do, and I can't do what this can do. I'm just like, no, mommy's just going to do what mommy's got to do today. And then that's just how it is. And then like when she was doing Atlas zones earlier, and I was filming her because she wanted to watch it, and I was watching her, and I was kind of like, this is just proof of how closely she watches me. Because like when I do Atlas zones, I'll stand there like this, and I'll do like 6 breaths, and then I go like that with my head because my hair whips around when I do stones. And I was watching her, she did the exact same thing, and I was just like, it was just amazing. She had seen everything that I do, and she did the same thing. Like she wants to do deadlifts tomorrow because she's got her own deadlift bar as well. She's very excited about it. Like she's 8, but she's 4'11". I don't know where she gets it from, but she's going to be like the strongest 8-year-old in the world.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. So let's go back to what was I going to say? The training. So like, I am very curious. I mean, I feel like people in the UK, you got some access to some things, and I've seen a lot of really unique training methods and stuff coming out of the UK. And all them Viking lifters out there, there's always some weird, cool shit. They're almost like the Houdinis of bodybuilders. They're always coming up with a new strength hack, a weird thing to do. So let's go into your training a little bit, like talk us through what you do, on the daily. And when you first started, you got to give us a glimpse, but more specifics of what you did for your training to be able to fight the big boys on the derby. I just think when you say derby, I think of horse racing and gambling. The derby. Bet on.
So when I started, I had one coach, and then I was talking to Marie, and I was like, but I don't ever do any overhead stuff, and she was like, what? So then I got a different coach, and then things didn't go right with him before lockdown. So then I got a coach who I'm pretty sure a lot of people who listen to this, if not all of them, will know, a young lady called Rhiannon Lovelace.
I love Rhiannon.
She is the best. She started being my coach when lockdown happened, and I was like, I've got this amount of plates and a barbell, but because of like how I need to keep my mental health stuff in check because of being stuck in a house with 4 kids and having just lost my mom, I need you to help me and give me structure, because that's what I need during this. So basically Ree got me almost 2 years ago, which I'm sure she's very happy about, because I'm the biggest pain in the ass in the world. And we went from just doing reps of deadlifts to then putting bands on deadlifts to then me getting what they're called, brake discs from garages when they started to open, that I'd then put on my barbell to put more weight on, because I don't know what it was like for you guys, but like everywhere here sold out of all gym stuff, or there were people just scalping me like no one's business. It
was gross. It was
They're just horrible. They're just ridiculous. So I was getting brake discs and putting them on the end of my barbell.
Oh.
And I was like weighing them. I was like, so this one's 6.7, this one's 7.2, this one's 4.3. So I'd have to add it up. So it was like, so I was doing that. And then I was like, tying weights onto my barbell with resistance bands, and then they were flying off all over the place. So I was very happy when gyms opened again. So we went from doing that kind of, I think usually now I'm on kind of like 4 days a week. So I'll have like a deadlift day with other stuff, then I'll have an overhead day and other stuff, then like a full accessory day, and then I'll have events day, which is my favorite one because that's when I get to play with stones.
I was just thinking about a bunch of things you're saying. That's crazy though. It's funny. I was trying to make my own DIY strongman equipment and whatever. And the only thing I learned from that lesson was guys at hardware stores don't know what the hell they're talking about, and all the commercials are lies, like all of them. Because not a single guy would know. I'd call in and I'd go and look, and I bring them pictures and like a Google printout of the dimensions of someone else who made it with the same type of stuff, and they still couldn't figure. Like, you work at a fucking, you cut and sell wood for a living. Like, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, if I'm the one who doesn't know what I'm talking about and I sound smarter than you, then there's a problem here, you know? Yeah, so it's pretty brutal. So I just bought like old weights and spray painted them. So I don't have any Olympic equipment right now, but my goal is to do that this summer. Been chipping away at my own log. Woo! It's gonna be sparkly pink. Just you fucking wait. No one's ever seen that. You don't even want to know the amount of glitter that's gone into that log is wood absorbed,
You're
right?
just gonna need to be careful when you clean it, because if there's too much, you're gonna be like,
it's gonna fucking, no, there's so much clear coat on it. It's crazy heavy by itself. Like, I'm pretty sure when it gets its final weight, it's gonna be 130 pounds. Like, it's fucking huge. And yeah. Well, the thing is, and it also glows in the dark because I use fluorescent paint in there too. So I'm gonna shine a black light on. I'm gonna work out at night with my log press grunting. Like,
I want to paint my log now. You've said that. I'm gonna figure out how to paint mine as well now.
Yeah, you can.
I'll have like a green one. It'll be great.
Yeah, so do it. You can get the glitter off of Amazon. I don't know if you shop at Amazon or you get. But yeah,
like lockdown and Amazon were like this.
Yes, me too. Amazon prevented me from becoming an alcoholic. Being a mom in the house, people don't understand like the rage level. Like, it was good because it made me super strong and anti-bullshit. Like, I was a nice country girl before this lockdown. Now I'm just like, fuck you, and fuck you. Like, everybody in the room, like Britney Spears, that little music video. She gets on like the podium and swears all cute. But no, I'm like, don't fuck with me. I've had too much fucking around. I made my house with like 2 living rooms decked out with shit for the kids, and they still, were driving me crazy, breaking things. They just broke a third TV, flat screen TV, a week ago. And I'm like, no, bitch, I'm not buying any more TVs. Fuck you. You're going to have to go without like the 1800s. Yeah. And you can have the tablet once a day for an hour because you find a way to annoy me with that too. And that's that. Yeah, and I almost lost my damn mind. So listening, obviously, the show and all those things helped. And that's what I'm saying is like, you don't know the impact these little steps that you do for your own health and maintenance and structure, how it's going to dramatically change your whole life. And it sounds cheesy, but it's true. You always go back to the simple principle of a martial artist or a bodybuilder of just discipline, right? Discipline and consistency, and how that like rules the day. But yeah, my weight's fluctuated a lot over the past 2 years, like me training last year in the basement. But I look at my overall gains versus a specific number on the scale or a specific weight I'm lifting is how of the other ways that my brain is improved or my general mobility or my strength and conditioning. And I posted some articles. Guys, we have Facebook groups. One's called Strong Women of Canada. You have to be in Canada because there's access on Facebook group for trainers and different things like that to find clients, or for you to find trainers and that kind of thing that we approve of, that we work with. And then we have a group called Team Canada Strong, where we have fitness challenges, dance challenges, and healthy recipes and that kind of thing. But what I talk about in the group a lot, there's an article I recently posted on the Strong Women of Canada about this subject. It's about a lot of athletes are super strong, super fit, but in one way, and their overall resting rate and their overall strength and conditioning is just as bad as someone who doesn't exercise. And a lot of things go into that. Like I said, how are you sleeping? How much water are you drinking? What's your stress levels like? What are your hormones like? So like, yeah, it's great if you can lift all this weight, but when you see people just pass out and die out of nowhere, and it's like, what the hell? I thought he was fancy. What happened? So that kind of leads into the whole, classic techniques of training anew, but and being consistent and finding a way, but also what things are really healthy in the long term and what things you should probably stop trying to be some cool fucking Instagram acrobatic and stop that shit, Yeah. So what are some training tips you have for moms, women, people who maybe have some mobility issues, could be dudes too, or even some people who maybe just really heavy, right? So they have strength that they're heavy, and mass is mass. You got to move it around. I know. I'm small. What are some modern training tips or that you have, or some classic stuff you mix together like that you think could help people?
I think like mom tips. My biggest mom tip is if they're old enough to be at school, always try and get training done when they're at school, because otherwise the guilt tripping that some of them can do you. Like one of them who is currently lurking in that doorway staring at me is just ridiculous. So I try and get all of my training done in the daytime or on weekends. I think when like you're heavier, just realise that that doesn't mean you can't do all the same stuff that everyone else does. Because like I said, I'm like 6'1". I think I'm about, I don't know what this is in pounds, but I'm pretty sure I'm like 134 or 135 kilograms at the minute, which is heavier than I was before I lost weight. But I can still move just as fast. I can still kind of run around with farmers and yokes just as fast. I think it's more of a mental block, because people see you when you're bigger and they're like, she can't do that, she can't do that, she can't do that. And I'm like, can I not? Do you want to watch me do it? Like, I remember once when I was playing American football and I had to be a running back for a game, so I running back for England, and I was there and I was behind the quarterback, and I heard their coach go, "You can stop her, she's a fat lump." And I just turned around at him and I put my gun shield out, and I've never dead-eyed anyone so much in my entire life. And I put my front door back in. I was like, "Let's do this." And I've never got so far in my life. I was like, I ran through 3 people. I was like, "No one's stopping me! No one's stopping me!" Like, I was literally trying to prove a point to this man. I was like, firstly, you don't call women things like that. Secondly, don't body shame me, mate, because you're not exactly slim yourself. And thirdly, thank you, because you just fueled my rage. I think it's also important to know that, like, when you do lifting, I think you fall in, I think there are 2 categories for when you do stuff. Like, you're either like an angry lifter, like I am, or you're a happy lifter. And I think it's completely fine to be either of those. Like, if you want to use your rage for good, do it. If you want to be happy about it, if you're like, yeah, then just do that as well. And the biggest thing that annoys me, and I get a lot of grief about this because I made a t-shirt about it to get me to shit, was my biggest bugbear in the entire world. And I understand that this can be a health thing, but it also annoys me because so many women get upset by it, is when people shame you for accidentally weeing when you deadlift.
Oh, it's so fun you're bringing that up. I was thinking about that the other day.
It's so important that women know, especially if you've given birth, that at some point you probably will wet yourself when you're doing a deadlift. My gym bag has got all the normal stuff in, but then there's also 2 spare pairs of leggings, 2 pairs of pants, and lady pads. Because the first thing my friend told me when I started training was, the heavier your deadlifts get, the more likely you are that one of your muscles will give up at some point, and it'll probably be. And I was like, no. And I was really scared.
It's still for a test, you know.
But like, if I have to do a 220 deadlift and I feel a bit of weight come out, I'm either going to put it down and give up on my deadlift, or I'm going to wee, and I'm going to wee because you know what I mean. So I made a t-shirt for world. It's like a picture of me in the middle, and it just says, "If she pees, she pees." And then I got loads of grief from some women for selling it, because they said I was glamorizing wetting yourself. But then so many other women and like were just messaging me like, "Thank you so much," because like, people made me feel so bad for so long for this happening, and they made me feel there's something wrong with me, like my body was failing, like I was like dirty or weird for doing it. And I was like, Bab, it's not, might not happen to everyone, but realistically, if you've given birth vaginally to like a baby, or in my case 4, then at some point it's probably going to happen, and you shouldn't feel ashamed or embarrassed or anything about it, because it is completely normal. Like, if it's happening when you're doing really light ones, then you should probably like do some like pelvic floor stuff. Maybe if it still happens at other times, go and see a doctor. But if it's when you're literally going for your max deadlift, or you're doing like a 200 kilogram deadlift and you've got to do 5 of them, and the last 2 you're like, oh, there it is, then I see no reason why you should feel bad about that. And it really annoyed me for so long that people would shame women for that.
I got a million things I want to add to what you said, so let's see if I remember them all. That's the worst thing, is after I did the show, we're like, oh, I should have said this or had this, but like, I'm trying to absorb everything, and my brain's like a fireworks going off in all these different directions. I'm neurodivergent, don't judge me. But like, as a mom, like, I have highest percentile boys. So my 15-month-old is wearing 3- and 4-year-old clothes. He's not fat. Like, it's fucking Sasquatch. I mean, he unlocks doors. He's like carrying laundry up and down the stairs, walking up and down the stairs, holding the railing like a grown ass man. And he's got like an 80s mullet going on, like all his hair is to that. Sorry, I know what he looks like, what he's gonna look like when he's bald in his 40s. It's hilarious. But anyway, they had big ass heads. You know, my titties couldn't even keep up, so I had to do formula. You know, but I'm just saying, it's like they broke him out of a day, and then I had a C-section because I couldn't get him out, and that fucked me up too. So, anyways, it's like, and highest percentile is no joke. That's big ass head. Like, my first was 9 pounds. My second was almost 12 pounds. That's
you have bigger babies than I do. Like, my biggest one's only been like 7'7".
Their dad's 6'7", so my first is 6'7". They're predicting for him is 6'6", and my second they're predicting 6'8", and he'll probably be thick like me. So, future strongman. And they're both trying to lift. So I was going to because my gym is right beside their playroom, and it's just a curtain as a blockade. So they're like going up and boxing and playing with my weights, and then my son, he goes, ooh, like that, and he calls himself, you know, baby Hulk and that kind of thing. It's so funny. But Yeah, so I love it. It's so cute when they do that. It's good. It's good, like, encouragement for me to keep lifting, because I'm like, well, if they're lifting and there's like
Exactly.
babies.
It's good for them to see mommy being strong.
Yeah, yeah. That's always references me. Like, ooh, that. But no, and Jessica Fiven, actually, I remember with, I don't know if it's OSG, because I watch a lot of people. Do not judge me. To have this podcast, I have to be in the know with a million things. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not sitting there with notepads because I am Joe Rogan. I don't have 4 staff, to write everything down. Anyways, I remember something about, they saying that you had to clean up your own pee if you eat. And Jessica had written, a statement about that on Twitter or somewhere else, and people were really mad and saying the same thing, you're glamorizing peeing and stuff like that. And the thing is, it's like, yes, I agree with you. On a low level pelvic dysfunction, you should always, I will swear by Pilates, because I'm a dancer and it's fixed my body every single time I've needed to fix my body. Pilates and yoga. Do not underestimate that. Do the yoga, do the Pilates, then do some resistance training, then do the bodybuilding style with your dumbbells and shit like that. Then start doing, some powerlifting, then get some Olympic lifts in there, and then start doing strong. Like, to me, that's a linear way of training for strongman. But I'm not saying that it has to be the way it's one size fits all. But yeah, at low levels, if you're having issues, for sure. But either way, you shouldn't be shamed about it. And I saw Sue, she's another lifter I've had on my show. She's from my country. And she is heavyweight, and she just won a gold in some powerlifting competition. She's doing really, really well. So she started as a strongman, she's doing powerlifting. And people are shaming her because they're like, oh, you're only doing 300 pounds, and that's your body weight. It's only 1 times your body weight. And it's like, yeah, but everybody has different genetic and physical mobility issues and abilities and agility. I'm a dancer. I've been a choreographer. I've been teaching dance and fitness for over fucking 13 years. And I can tell you right now that human is not standard, one size fits all. And the same training doesn't work for the same person. So you can't sit here and say that it's, I mean, there's always some truth to some general standards. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to measure anything in life. Yeah. But it's fucking stupid to body shame men and women. They're lifting assholes. They're competing. Shut the fuck up. If they're wean, they're fucking wean. Okay. It's different if they're standing there like, yeah, and there's piss shooting everywhere like a dude. Okay? Yeah. Okay, then maybe we have an issue. Yeah. But otherwise, do you think anybody likes the smell or the feel of their pee on their own body? No. Yeah. Do you think anybody in front of thousands of people wants to clean their own pee? No. So once again, shut the fuck up. This is why I have the stuff on my show, on my shirts that I do, because I'm not glamorizing being heavy. I'm not glamorizing any of those things. I want people to feel empowered. I also want people to feel like they can tell people and things in their life that are bringing them down, shut the fuck up, and keep being fabulous and pursuing their own life and doing you. Do you, boo? Screw what other people think, And you should be proud of the shit you've accomplished, right? Because you know your story, you know what you've had to get through to get to that point. That's why we have a shirt that says like thick ass bitch, because you're proud of being thick, you're proud of being a bitch. We have something that says shred cred because you're proud of being shredded. Some people are bodybuilders and want to be shredded, right? So whatever makes you happy, you're not harming other people. Screw it. The pee on the floor, as long as it cleans up, it don't hurt nobody.
You know what, actually, I've just remembered
something. Last time I checked, pee was not a sign of the robot that would jump up and start chopping you in the kneecaps or jump up into your vagina. So do not worry about the pee on the floor. Anyways, I'm done.
I've actually just remembered as well, at a competition once, we had to do it was a deadlift only competition. So at some point it was going to happen, and it was like frame deadlift, and every time you put it down, they put more weight on. So it was like 180 kilograms did that, 200 kilograms did that, and then it went up to 240, and I did 220. I was like, oh, put it back down. And then I literally thought, and at this point, Andrea Thompson was the judge, so she was standing in front of me, and Rhiannon was there, who I can't remember if she was my coach or not yet. And I was like, you either go for this last one and you get it up and you win, or you don't go for it, you don't get it and you don't win. So I decided to go with the first option, did it, got it up, and I felt it happen. I was like, oh no. And then I went down. As soon as I put this frame down, I literally jumped out of it and ran off. Next thing I know, because I was hiding behind Maria, and then I look up and I just see Ree running out of the gym with a mop and a bucket to go and clean it up for me. And I was like, that is like female empowerment, supporting each other. That is,
yeah,
100%. And Ree was like there with a mop. I was like, thank you.
Listen, it's sterilized. You weak people. You fucking weak, okay? Like, honestly, this is what I've learned from the lockdown is people don't whine about stupid bullshit in your life. You have food. You're not starving in third world country, You have a roof over your head. So what? There was pee on the platform before you walked on it. Let's spray some Lysol up in this bitch. Relax.
Everyone has shoes on anyway.
Yeah, you're not bare feet. That's like, wash your shoes and get them. Wash your kicks with them shoes press. Scrub it up, relax. So I wanted to, hopefully this isn't offensive because I am the worst at wording this question, but I was curious because you got to embrace what your kid trying to harass you. Listen, I'll jump through that phone. I'll do to chop him back into bed. For the power of the Lord. Anyway, you got them braids. I used to be rocking that hair in my 20s when I was trying to be Christina Aguilera, Dirty, want to get ready to party. That song still gets me. Oh, I'm over there. Give me some mom. That song still gets me. I'm a mom, even more so now, Except for the bikini. Can't be rocking that. Mom bud. So anyways, you got them braids. like, I'm curious more. I know you're from England, but we talked about before that we started recording that you are a mixed bag, because, you know, English people are a bunch of mixed bags now. So I'm curious about your cultural background and the influence of that, if it has any, on you as an athlete in the sport, or what your feeling is about, you know, the how it represents your culture or incorporates your culture in the sport. Like for me, Highland Games is Scottish, right? So that's why I was attracted to the Highland Games was in Scottish, you know?
The accent gives it away. I was like, she's definitely Scottish.
Yeah. Totally. So rock solid accent. They use me for audiobooks with that. I'm telling you, I make big money with my leprechaun voice. I know that's not even your slang. No, but I'm just saying, you know, because I don't think you told me. I was trying to find, it wasn't pulling up, and I was like, where's that email? I was trying to find if you had said anything. I don't think you said anything, and I'm trying to assume, you know. So I'm curious, you know, because we've had a lot of feedback on the show, right? People are like, we really want to see more women of color. We really want to see people with disabilities, and that's something I've really, really tried to work at, because representation matters. And if you see people who you know, inspire you and that you feel like you can relate to, you're more likely to do something and engage in that activity, right? So that's why I'm asking is for anyone out here who may be, you know, the first one, right? Like Angie, who's she's Indigenous, and she's, you know, trying to go pro as an Indigenous strongwoman in Canada, and that's amazing. She's the only one like herself, right? That's huge. And she feels a huge responsibility to represent her community and make it a better place and help other people. And she's a really, you know, star person in terms of her community givings and outreach. So
I'm like full English. I was born in Newtown, which is like a slightly dodgy area, but still. My mum is British, but she was white, and my dad is West Indian, and he's like full Jamaican. I still can't. Me and my dad talk even now. Sometimes I'm like, you need to talk a bit slow, because I'm really bad at understanding his accent when he gets too fast.
And it's your dad, that's somebody.
Yeah, when I was younger, because it was just kind of like me and my mum. I didn't really grow up with my dad. He kind of I think I met him again when I was like 13, and then kind of we drifted apart again, and then we've only started really trying to make an effort since my mum passed. He's been a lot better at being like, are you okay? Do you want to come see me? Do the kids want to come see me? Things. But like up until then, I'd never really, in school it was always kind of like, you can't be both. So I was always like, I can, because I'm half black and half white, so if I want to be both, I'll be both. But I think because I grew up with my mum, I always saw myself more on like the white side. And then kind of when I got into more sport and I started to mix with more people, I was like, actually, you can be both again, and there's nothing wrong with you trying to do that. And then I don't know, weirdly, it's just, I think I originally started having, because I didn't have my braid in for like the first year, I think, of competing. And then I remember I said to Ruby before England, I was like, so should mummy have a plait to put back in? Because then at least when I've got to do stuff, my hair's not going to get all in my face, and I won't have to worry about like my plaits coming out, or like just it coming out. And we were like, yeah. So she picked this fluorescent pink hair, and I was like, well, I'll go with it. We might as well, because all of my leggings are fluorescent, so my hair might as well match it. So we started doing that, and then I kind of was like, actually though, I think like Andrea Thompson always says, she always has her lashes on when she does a competition, because it just makes her feel more confident. And I think in my case, similar thing with the braids, because I've had them in for like every major competition that I've done now. So I kind of feel like the bright leggings and the braids are like weirdly like how people know like which person I am, which is weird. When I started looking at
so funny.
Because when I started looking at strongman, I was like, oh, Johnny Moore, she's really cool. And I was like, oh my God, Andrea Thompson, she's really cool. And then there was Rhea, and I was like, oh my God, she's really cool. But then I was like, I couldn't find that many. And like you say, well, like women of colour, there are a lot more now. There's like, there's Andrea, there's Farah, who's amazing. There's Lauren, who's with me at the first England. There's so many more now. And when I went to OSG, I was like, oh my God, Nadia, oh my God, Gabby, this is amazing. And I was just like, this is a lot cooler now. But I think, weirdly, I think it's kind of, because like when I was little, I didn't see people doing things that I thought were cool who looked like me, and now it's kind of, I kind of want to do that, so other little girls who kind of look like me see other people that they can be like, oh, I could do that. So I remember I was at Arnolds and I met somebody through Instagram after that, and she messaged me, she said, my daughter literally looked at you on stage at Arnolds and said, mommy, you were on the stage, because she thought it was her. And I was like, that's so cute. But it's cool that like she could see people doing that who like she obviously wouldn't have thought would be doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's a very weird thing.
That's what I'm saying, is like, we talk about the derby. I wish there was horses I could just run across
roller derby.
The derby. So we talk about that. It's like when I was a kid, I was always thought of as, oh, that's for lesbians, you know. I hate on no lesbians, anyone listening. Saying, because I grew up in a really, like, I'm from Canada, and it's really rural, it's very country, very Mennonite, very old school, very religious. So I grew up with all white people, very small town thinking. So pretty much anything that I was naturally inclined to, or that I like to do, like entrepreneurship, you know, working with wood and things that weren't typically for a woman, a country woman, was really shamed, and it was considered being sinful. It was considered being selfish, and there's many not great words that I can align with that, you know. So yeah, I really sheltered in that sense. And so I didn't pursue the things until much later in life, right? Like I'm in my mid-30s, I have 2 kids, and I feel like I'm just starting my life. I feel like I'm just starting my actual 20s because I don't have the same insecurities or fears. I'm better off financially. I'm happier. I may have this, like, I can relate on the disability factor as well, right? Like I'm neurodivergent. I have a few learning disabilities. I have physical disabilities I was born with that affect my body greatly on a day-to-day basis. But having representation, like I said, matters. And then when you start to see people who look like you doing something cool, then you do it, right? Like Sue. Like that's why I was like, don't you fucking hate on my Sue? Because I saw a picture of her when I looked up Strongman in Manitoba, because she came out once for a competition. There was a photo of her and she was a heavyweight. And I'm like, hey, there's a big girl moving heavy stuff. I'm a big girl, you know I can move heavy stuff. So yeah, representation is so fucking huge. And that's why I never assumed too, because like you said, it's like, it depends on your cultural influences and how you grew up, you know? I can relate to each culture like differently because I moved around a lot as a kid. So I lived in different neighborhoods around different, you know, cultures. So they've all had an influence on me. The Asian thing is huge for me. Obviously the pandas, because my half brother and half sister are Chinese. They have a Chinese dad, but they grew up with me. Like I don't know their dad, never met their dad. But because my mom was married to a Chinese dude, you know, by the time she had me as my dad, there was already a lot of that, you know, cultural influence that end up, you know, being raised with. But you know, yeah, as a mom, there's so much responsibility, I feel, because so many of us are like struggling to get the recognition, the respect, and to understand how we fit in this modern world, right? Like really, when you look at the dynamics of what's expected of a woman, what a woman's daily life looks like, is very, very different to 1950s and even, you know, 50 years before that, right? So we're still not trying to make our place in the world, but kind of, right? We're still trying to set a precedent in the tone. You know, there's still a need for feminism in certain ways. But there's so much opportunity at the same time, right? So women are like, fuck, I can do anything now. Let's do this shit. So I feel like
what I tell Ruby. I'm like, anything that any of your friends can do, no matter what gender they are, you can do the same thing as long as you put your mind to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like now is the time. Like now is anything your wish dreams to come true. You know, what's that little frog? What's that little thing? What is that little thing with the hat in the Disney movie? You know, with the Pinocchio. What is he? Is he a frog? Is he a turtle? No, I'm he's like,
I can't remember his name. Jiminy Cricket.
There we go. Thank you very much. Yes, Sir Jimmy Cricket here. So back to the training techniques and closing. Like I said, back to the modern. So you used a lot of DIY equipment. Now you're trying to go to the world's level. Is there certain training techniques, classic or new, or why is my ring light dying? Oh wait, I'm dark now. I went a whole 2 shades darker of white. My hair is now brown. I don't know. My technology is dying on me. It's one of those days. What are those techniques that you want to have people? You think people can do now that are relevant, that make sense, that are practical, like they have access to, like in gyms or at home, or can find access to, or make or whatever, that you think will push them to that next level, that elite level, that really challenge them? Because there's so much shit for people to analyze. Yeah. I mean, unless you're a strength and conditioning coach who's an expert and been around a long time, there's a lot of shit coming at you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think a lot of people are overwhelmed by all the new techniques, and they're like, oh, what really works? What should I really do? You know?
Yeah. I think the main thing is, because like I did a personal training course during lockdown, so I was like, I'd like to be able to teach people how to do stuff and blah, 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 blah. But then kind of when I have a little kind of mini off season, like I did after OSG, and I was like, I'll just program myself stuff to do. And every time I did it, I was like, I don't want to finish this. I'm not going to finish this. I think the main thing the main thing I think that really, really helps with programming is having a coach who will fully know what they're doing, and he's going to be that person that holds you accountable for stuff. Yeah. Because I can tell myself I'm going to do this on this day, this on this day, this on this day. But because I know I haven't got to say that to anyone, I'm less likely to do it. So I think that really makes a massive difference with me. It's knowing that I've got to send Marie this video and this video and this video, and I've got to have done this, this, and this. You know? And if I haven't sent it, and I'll be like, well, I haven't done this. She's not going to tell me off or anything, but she'll be like, are you okay? What's happening? What's going on? And it's not just a case of her being there for when I'm doing coaching stuff and she's got to pick me for competitions and stuff. It's also kind of like that's like emotional support as well. So I can be like, Ree, I couldn't do it today. I had a really bad day. This happened, this happened, this happened. And she'll be like, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it? What we're going to do is next time we do it, we're going to do this, or we're going to have a day's rest and then you're going to go again, or we're going to have a day's rest. We'll do that next week, and then we're going to mix it up and do something else. I think that really helps with kind of the mental aspect as well as anything else, because getting strong is hard, but it's doable. But like having the mental resilience to know that when you've had a shitty day, you can tell your coach you've had a shitty day, and they'll be like, listen, this is what I'm going to do, and tell you about yourself. Like the amount of times that I've said to her recently, I don't know if I should do this competition because I'm not strong enough. I don't know if I should do this because I can't do this event. And she will send me like 2-minute voice notes, basically saying, listen, I'm going to be real with you about this. This might not work. However, there is this, this, and this. You've done this. You got to this. You didn't think you were going to do this, but this has happened. And I think it's really important that you have somebody that you can do that with, because
100%.
half the time I don't think I'd have got where I've got to in this short amount of time if I hadn't have had like a coach in my corner going, listen, we're going to do this. You're going to do this. This is what's going to happen. You're going to hit this number. And generally, when she said you're going to hit this, I'll be like, okay. And then I'll do it, and I'll be like, oh, and it'll be higher. And she'll be like, I know.
Oh, dang.
I just didn't want to tell you were going to get it. And I was like,
you are 100% right. Sorry, my technology is dying, so we're on the last.
Just like a little cartoon.
That's my little cartoon. That's my business side. That's my trade professional. That's the face persona I put on when I'm doing them contracts. No, but before I had kids, you know, those are my actual glasses. I can't see any glasses. A little bit blind when I'm competing because, you know, contacts burn my eyeballs, so I just don't see anything. Especially when I go grocery shopping, because, you know, cold winter steam does not mix well when you go into the store. And then the asthma, just follow my glasses. I'm just walking around blind all the time. So, no, yeah, for sure. The coach thing is huge, just for efficiency and frustration and all the things. I think if you want to go elite, you know, higher level, you want to be a serious athlete in any way, even if it's just at a national level, you need a coach for sure. Rihanna's amazing. She's freak in nature because, you know, 4 times her body weight. She's freak. You are a freak, Rihanna. You know it. But I love you, but you a freak. Amazing. And I say that as a positive word, by the way. It's not a diss. It's an empowerment. I know she's got that. You know, yeah. It's a freak day. No, for sure, 100%. Like you need to know, you need to be real with yourself, and you need to be honest. And there's no need to struggle in silence. The resources are there. And like I said, if you want, join our groups, you guys. You can always reach out to me or any of the trainers that we sponsor on our show. Also, like I said, check out our brand ambassador opportunity, because as a basic brand ambassador, you get the hookups, obviously, on the merch. But if you join a brand ambassador boot camp, obviously you have to be an athlete. We teach you a lot of the stuff. You get access to our coaches and our programming and different things for a lot cheaper than you would just as a normal person sending up a DM. But yeah, obviously, like I said, Rihanna's a great coach. Maria, how do you think? And I'm like, Maria, totally bugged her about that sound music thing. You know, she's great too. But, you know, I want to say, like I said, thank you for being on the show, because people need to see the person behind the Instagram feed and the struggles and how hard it was. And I mean, that is a pinnacle moment. I'm telling you, there's going to be a movie about you one day. I'm telling you. And it's going to show the moment when you lost your mom, because that took so much courage. And I just want to say, like, I felt that in my heart, my soul, my gut. Like, I know that was so hard. I'm the same way. I don't like crying for people. Like, I don't want you to stay awake, you know, but that took so much emotional power and strength to do that. And look at the life you're creating for your family and your kids, and inspiration that they can do anything. So I think as a mom, we're superheroes, and you live in that superhero life, you know. And no, having the relationship with your dad become closer from that. I mean, that's a blessing. And then, you know, incorporating the culture and stuff like that. And when a strongman really truly is for everyone. And that's what I like about strength force, is it's not, it doesn't, sports in general, right? Like you show up, you have merit, you show out. It doesn't necessarily matter where you come from. Dance is starting to change like that. There's a lot of people like me who did a lot of community programs and taught for free or for really cheap, or use grants, you know, to get kids access to those things, just like with sports. And so I feel like sports is still and will be a ticket out for a lot of people, for the younger generation. And I think for women, like, you know, get that scholarship, get your own, you know, and pursue it. And teenage girls, like, the world's your oyster. You don't have to worry now. You can have an online business when you're 10. Become rich and go on.
Oh God, don't tell Ruby that. She's already trying to get me to have a YouTube channel. I'm like, nope.
Oh, well, though I will, now that you said that, now I'm going to be harassing you. There's a girl who looks really like you on TikTok, and I got you confused. And it's so funny because there's also Naomi we were having on our show, and I was trying to message you, and that's actually how I found her. And then she's like, yeah, that's how people always find me, because they're trying to find her.
Oh, was it Dean? Was it Nadine?
I can't remember. I sent so many messages, but probably.
If it was, then it's her little girl that saw me at Arnolds and thought I was a mom.
That's so cute. I'm saying there's another girl that looks like you, I swear, on TikTok. But yeah, it's really, really cool to me, because strongman kind of breaks those divides in terms of, like, not giving a shit of your religion or how much money you make or where you're from in the world. Just compete and be really supportive. But yeah, I love everything you said. Thank you so much for telling us your story and gracing us with your presence.
Thank you for listening to me.
I had a lot of people who messaged me and were like, I'm so glad you're having her on the show. I love her. So you've obviously had an impact on a lot of women, and a lot of women are inspired by you, because, yeah, I got a lot of sliding into DMs after I announced you. So, but like I said, everyone, please check out our website and our Facebook page, comment, reach out to Naomi if you need any support, if you want to, you know, train or compete with her or whatever. The women that we have on our show are on our show for a reason. They're really great humans and really great athletes. So check her out. And Naomi, please keep me in the know with everything that's going on with you so I can share it. You know,
I will, unless it's Ruby's YouTube, and then that's never happening.
You know, want it out there. You're like, the change stops here. There's certain things I just won't do on Instagram. You know, there's just certain things. That's where I draw the lines. Okay, only fans. Yeah. Okay, I just, you know, I'm not doing that right now. Okay? All right, thank you.
I draw the line at cardio.
Yeah. Well, I'm a dancer, and it hurts, man, because I'm so heavy now. Like, I used to dance full time when I was skinny, and fuck me. I feel it. Like, there's a skinny, wiggly snake beneath all this muscle and chub. And when I look at the videos, I laugh because I am moving so much more dramatically than that, but because I'm not a thick, thin person, you don't see it, right? And
work, that's all you need.
You guys want leg day? You do dance. You come to my dance class, you do some of my tutorials, and I'm telling you, you will be walking like you got to stick up your butt the next day because it fucking hurts, okay? It is a workout. So if you want to work and you want to do cardio, you don't want to do cardio, but you got to do cardio, check out our dance challenges. Find me on the YT, Fantastic the Dancer. Naomi, be careful when you watch those tutorials. Make sure your kids ain't around. There's a lot of twerking. PG-13 plus up in there. Don't, careful. Careful now. You know, I don't want you choking your popcorn, you know, just be prepared.
Oh, no,
you know?
no. Like, how did you injure yourself? I was twerking and I fell over. Sorry, Ruth.
That's the fact. That's the fact. The only thing that's going to kill me in my life is twerking, a sandbag, and maybe choking on some chicken. That's pretty much it. Everything else is savage. I will beat the shit out of anyone trying to fuck with my life. If I eventually go to jail one day, just let you know they're probably in the wrong because I put up a good fight, okay? You know, I have receipts. No one will be taking me to jail no time, you know? But anyways, thanks again for being on a show. You're fantastic. You. And we love you. And till next time, pandas, tune in next week. You want to know who's on? Better go on to Instagram. All right, tune in out. Boom, 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 boom. Next time, dad, Naomi. Boom, boom, boom. Where's the dead thing? Boom, boom, boom. Guessing.
I can't dance. I've got no rhythm.
No, here's the song for you. The talent. I just push it up. Move, shake. You just gotta move, shake, drop. You gotta drop that ass. You know?
I can't drop. It's gonna take me